meeting in order. We'll take a roll. Jackie Cooper. Sir Davila.
Here.
Dr. Fowler. Gary Hahn.
Here.
T.J. McDowell. Jesse Rangel.
Here.
Teacher Stewart.
Here.
Amy Trost.
Here.
Certify that we do have a quorum. We'll move to item C, the approval of the minutes from meeting May 30th, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We'll move to item D on the agenda, public comment. Anybody sign up for public comment? Nobody signed up. We'll move to item E, staff report, starting with licensing division.
Good morning. Carla James, TDLR. I would not normally do the licensing division update, but the poor gentleman who was supposed to do it for you got a phone call that his house got broken into, so he left, and I'm going to provide this for you. So it appears new licenses issued was 5. We had a large number of renewals, 89, for the total population, of course, is 680. And that was for the fitters and dispensers. Our apprentice permits, total population of 43. Interestingly enough, new licenses issued was 12, so that's a pretty good amount with renewals of 2. And of course, the temporary training permit, a lot larger number of 126 with new of 35 and renewed of 4. So that's about, I just read that to you for your excitement. So I'm happy to try to answer any questions, and if I can't answer them, we will certainly get an answer over IM immediately. So happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
very much. Okay, we'll hear from our customer service division.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Misty Maldonado de Leon. I am one of the managers in customer service. I'm covering for Tuan Nguyen today. He is conducting interviews today, so that's a good thing. You have the report right in front of you. Basically, same information. We haven't met since January, so he provided the full last fiscal year and up to December. Looks like most of the contacts we're having for this program is new application inquiries, exam eligibilities, renewals, things like that. But other than that, that's all I have. If you have any questions on customer service.
Question? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll hear from enforcement division.
Morning, board members. I'm Karen Cox. I'm giving the report for the enforcement section this morning. And let's see, case highlights, September 4th, an agreed order was entered that imposed a voluntary revocation of a temporary training permit for fitting and dispensing without being under supervision of a licensee. For fiscal year 2018, the one that ended on August 31st of last year, we had 27 cases opened. We resolved 32 cases with no agreed orders or penalties imposed. For fiscal year 2019, which is through, I think on this report it's through November of 2018, we opened 3 cases, we resolved 3 cases, we had 1 agreed order, and we assessed no penalties. May I answer any questions for you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we hear from Regulatory Program Management Division.
Mr. Chairman, I think we have
That was not you,
education and
Rebecca?
examination next.
What?
I think we are on item E4, which is education and examination. Before we get to RPM,
That is
what?
correct. Come on, Rebecca.
Good morning, Chair, Advisory Board members. Happy New Year. Good to see everybody. I don't have much, just a couple of things that we wanted to share with you. One is we're going to be starting the CE audit process. We've already started a CE audit process for some of our other programs, just to kind of let you know that in your reports that you'll be receiving, you'll start seeing how many CE audits are conducted and receive statistics on that as well. And what will happen is our auditor will go, whether it is an online course or an in-house course, and audit the course to make sure everything is compliance with our rules and regulations. Another thing, myself and Francis Pringle will be at THAA, there to answer any questions that any of the group has about anything regarding examinations or CE, or even we'll be along there with regulatory program and licensing, so they can ask us any questions having to do with TDLR. I also wanted to share, because we just had the administration last month, that we had 27 candidates for the audiometric portion with a rate of, let's say 78% pass rate, and 24 for the ear impression at an 88% pass rate. Any questions?
I have a question, but I'm not sure it's for you. Because we've been getting a lot of questions about people doing the testing, the screening versus the actual testing. Like, is the law already in effect that without a license you can test moderate and mild hearing loss, and anything over that, it's severe and profound, you have to have a license? People are asking a lot of questions about it, and I don't know where to get the information, so since I'm here, I thought that'd be a good place to start.
That would not be our division. It would be regulatory program management.
Carla James, that would be our regulatory program management. But what we can do is provide you with a set of data via email, all the links and the appropriate information so that you can share that as you need to.
Okay.
So we'll get that to you after the meeting,
Thank you.
to all of the members.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good?
Good, thanks.
Thank you. All right, now we'll go to item 5, Regulatory Program Management Division.
Good morning. I'm Katie Bryce with Regulatory Program Management, Medical and Health Professions section. You all have a copy of my report, but I just want to go over some things. We've conducted standard of care work group meetings. Topics covered by the work group included review and study of American National Standards Institute, standards and rules under 16 Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 112, regarding audiometric testing and audiometric test rooms, and you'll be getting the report later under the agenda. We have worked with the Office of Strategic Communication to review and update the program web pages. That went live September 28th, so if you've gone to the website since then, it's been kind of reformatted to make it a little more user-friendly, hopefully. We've also sat in with licensing and education and examination work group meetings, and we continue to assist customer service with program-related emails. Last June, we attended the Texas Hearing Aid Association's annual convention in Dallas, and we're looking forward to being back there in Houston this year in June 21st. We have some personnel updates. Heather Muir has replaced Stephen Mills, who retired, as our section manager. Heather, you want to stand up? Steve Eaker is my new backup, so he's going to be coming along when we do some outreach and things like that. You'll be seeing him. Did you stand up? I didn't see. Okay. Let's see. The other thing is that we have been publishing our health monitor, and we're working on the newest edition right now, so hopefully that'll be coming out in the next month or two, and those are available on our website. Any questions for me?
Yes. And this is a follow-up question to what I asked before, because I think the standards of care play a very big role in unlicensed people testing, hearing testing for mild and moderate losses, and where's the line being drawn, and where's the oversight? What if they put on an aid, or do they have to refer them? I think the standard of care is where people are feeling like, okay, somebody's gonna file a complaint, because you don't have to have the license, but you can still do hearing testing now, is my understanding.
Ms. Stewart, that is not accurate. So, Mary Winston, TDLR, we definitely want to, we just have a lot of perplexed faces in staff. And after the meeting, we do want to speak to get some more specifics, because Texas is a big state, and that's news to us. So we definitely want to know, who's been telling you these things, or just something general about it, so we can get some answers
Well,
to
that was
you.
just based on the federal law, and so people started having the discussion, and I thought, well, I'm gonna ask when I'm in Austin, because this is new to me as well.
We will, as our deputy said earlier, we'll make sure that we can give clarifying information, documentation to you, but I definitely want us to just chat afterwards, and Wendy Pello, our general counsel, as well.
Great.
So just to give some specifics, so we're
Thank
all
you.
on the same page.
Anything else?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And now we're here, item 6, the executive office.
That's me again, Carla James.
All right.
Before I forget, because I have been forgetting at some of the advisory board meetings, you probably have one of these in front of you, our laminated cards. We've made some updates to our goals and our vision, and added our newest professions in. So these are for you to take home and do what you will with it, but we wanted to provide it to you so you could see that we've made some adjustments during our strategic planning process. And I believe the strategic planning process was discussed in y'all's last meeting, so I won't go over that in detail again. To let you know, we are in legislative session now. That started on January 8th. We did our first budget hearing earlier this week and had some success with that, so we're hopeful that we will see some movement on our exceptional items. Every state agency is required every 2 years to submit a budget request to the legislature. It's called the Legislative Appropriations Request, and we submitted our LAR over the summer, and that was the basis for our request for the 86th legislature. We had 4 exceptional items, and those exceptional items are the requests that we make above our base budget for the prior 2 years. And those exceptional items included a single licensing system, to create a single licensing system. What Texans and our licensees don't know is that our staff works with 9 systems behind the scenes, and they don't play well together. They have been systems that are old and range in ages from the early 1990s to 2004. And each time the legislature trusts us with a new program, we generally get a new system that goes with it. So we've requested resources to build a comprehensive system that will take in all the licenses we have now and provide us with the opportunity, should the legislature move more systems and programs to us, to be able to absorb those as well and not work from the standpoint of a lot behind the scenes. That's going to allow us to provide quicker customer service, faster licensing, all kinds of things that are going to benefit our licensees. Our second request was for a human trafficking team, and that probably sounds very odd to you all on the dais and anyone listening, but we are in a unique position in that we have the ability under our enabling statute to go in and conduct inspections. And so when we go into facilities that may have human trafficking going on, we will see those things before the local jurisdictions will. And so if, as part of our our inspection process, we see people living in the facilities, and that's not something we should be seeing, we're turning that information over to the local law enforcement entities. And so we've requested some additional staff and resources for that. And that is a big initiative of the governor, and so we're following suit with that. And then we had 2 final requests to try to recoup some of the staffing that we lost during the last legislative session. All agencies had to make cuts. We moved forward with the top 2, which was the licensing system and the human trafficking, and have been very fortunate that the Senate side of the Capitol has seen that request as important as well and has put it in the base budget. So we will be meeting with the House side in the not-too-distant future and have that request before them as well. So that kind of covers our appropriations. The last thing I'd like to leave you with is the outreach efforts that we have done for the last 6 months for your profession, and mainly on our website. The page for hearing instrument and fitters and dispensers saw almost 13,000 page views, and that's an average of 71 a day. 62% of those did so from a desktop computer, 34% from a smartphone, and 4% from a tablet. And the top reasons for visiting our site has been exam information, followed very closely by administrative rules, and then forms, our frequently asked questions, and links to the hearing fitters law. So that wraps up my report to you. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay.
Thank you.
very much. All right, we'll move to item F, discussion and possible recommendations regarding proposed amendments to existing Rule 16, Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 112, subsection F, 11250, 52, and 53.
Good morning, Wendy Pello, Assistant General Counsel. As the chairman said, this is agenda item F. These are proposed rules regarding the temporary training permit holders. We had brought these proposed rules to you at your May 2018 meeting. They had been developed and recommended by the licensing work group and department staff. We had brought them to your last meeting. You had a discussion and recommended they be published in the Texas Register. We did publish them on October 26th. That comment period closed November 26th. We did receive one public comment from the Texas Hearing Aid Association in support of the rule changes, and the department appreciates the comment. We didn't make any changes to those rules, so we can open that up to discussion. And just as a refresher, these are temporary training permit holders, how they can get a second permit, what the requirements are and limitations on that second permit, and the limitation only getting 2 temporary training permit holder licenses. And then there were some other cleanup changes, including cleanups to the criminal history background check provisions. So you can open that up to discussion for the advisory board.
Any discussion? Motion?
Okay. Yeah, we'd be asking for a recommendation to recommend that these rules go to the commission for their consideration.
I moved for recommendation that these rules go to the commission for consideration.
Second? Any opposed? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'll do that first. Okay, so carried.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to item G, discussion and possible recommendation regarding proposed amendments to existing Rule 16, Texas Occupation Code, Chapter 112, subchapter C, 11225.
Great.
Do it again.
Again, Wendy Pello, Assistant General Counsel. Agenda item G, these are proposed rules making proposed changes to section 112.25 relating to the requirements for the examination proctors. These rule changes were developed with the education examination work group within department staff. The education examination work group gave a report at their meeting on May 30th, 2018. There was just a report of what the work group had been doing and their recommendations for those changes, but there weren't any proposed rules offered at that time or presented at that time. So this is what we're doing today, is presenting you with the actual proposed rule text. You can see under 112.25 subsection B, the qualifications for the examination proctor. Under paragraph 2, instead of the proctor having held a license for at least 3 years prior to the examination, we're reducing that to 2 years. And then under B3, the examination proctor, instead of having observed 5 full practical exams, they're now reducing that to 3. And then we've added language about going through any proctor training that our third-party examination provider does as part of those requirements. And the discussion with the licensing work group is trying to find that balance of we need experienced proctors, but we also want to open up the pool of proctors to get more proctors available so we can offer the exams more often and around the state and more frequently. So there's trying to find that balance, and this is what the work group was proposing, is going from 3 years to experience to 2 years experience and 5 practical exams to at least 3. And we had that discussion that they could also observe those examinations in a one-day period, which may help get the licensees ready to become a proctor and sit and be able to perform those duties. And again, this is completely voluntary there. This is not a requirement that everyone has to become a proctor, but if you do, these are what the requirements are to be a proctor. And this is something that's required by the statute, that we set out these kind of details. So open that up to discussion for the work group or for the advisory board to discuss if you have any comments or questions.
Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
And at this point, we would be making a recommendation to publish these rules in the Texas Register as proposed rules and open for public comment. Just as a note, we will have a slight delay in publishing those, just because we don't, when you publish proposed rules, you have 180 days from the time you publish to when they have to be filed for adoption. So if with the legislative session here, we're going to probably bring the advisory back early in the summer. So we'll wait a little bit. We'll have the comment period open in the next few months during session, and it'll be ready for y'all when it come back for your next meeting. So I just wanted you to be aware of that in terms of timing, but we would be asking for your recommendation to publish them in the Texas Register.
Make that recommendation, publish them in the Texas Register for comment and review. Public comment.
Do I hear a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Great, thank you very much.
All right, we'll go to item H, the update from work group and possible recommendation.
I have a report from the Standard of Care Work Group.
Okay?
The Standard of Care Work Group of the Hearing Instrument Fitters and Dispensers Advisory Board met on May 16, 2018 and November 14, 2018 to discuss the American National Standards Institute, ANSI standards and rules under 16 Texas Administrative Code, TAC Chapter 112 regarding audiometric testing and audiometric test rooms. The work group report for the May 16, 2018 meeting was given at the May 20th, 2018 advisory board meeting. This work group assignment was a follow-up to a rulemaking petition that was submitted to the department regarding 16 Texas Administrative Code 112.97 sound level measurements, audiometers, and audiometric testing. The department denied the petition and explained the reasons for the denial, but stated that it would seek technical input from the Hearing Instrument Fitters and Dispensers Advisory Board and from the industry regarding ANSI standards and audiometric testing in a stationary acoustic enclosure. Attachment 1, rule petition response. The work group and the department received industry input from the Texas Hearing Aid Association, THAA. THAA provided the work group and the department with a position paper why TAC 112.97 needs to be maintained in TDLR rules for hearing instrument fitters and dispensers and its recommendation regarding this matter. Attachment 2, the THAA position paper. As part of the work group discussions, the department staff drafted possible amendments to 112.97 for the work group to review. The work group discussed the statutory authority and the necessity for any rule changes. The work group decided that no substantive changes should be made to 112.97 regarding ANSI standards and audiometric testing conducted in a stationary acoustic enclosure. Any cleanup changes to this rule are not urgent and do not require a separate proposed rulemaking for this one rule at this time. The Standard of Care Work Group recommends that no further action is needed at this time regarding this matter.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item I, recommendations for agenda items for next board meeting. None? At this
Carla
time?
James, TDLR. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, item G will come up? Is that accurate, Wendy?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll need to put item G on there again because it'll be time to have that discussion again after they've been posted. And anything you all want to discuss, that'll be it from our end. Well, that'll go during executive, though, right? Yeah, so we'll provide an update of legislative session during our normal executive update.
Okay, do we want to discuss date and time, location of the next meeting, or we're going to wait until after session and figure that one out?
So if I could, sir, Carla James again. Generally, we try to have our advisory board meetings in the summer after session so we can provide you updates rather than telling you about things that may or may not happen. So I think what we'll do is we'll poll you all and see what your schedules look like for sometime in the June-August timeframe, June through August timeframe. We're doing this with all of our other advisory boards, so I don't want to promise you a date and then we've scheduled 15 of them in 1 week and everyone quits on me.
Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, meeting adjourned.